Hello and welcome to the Peaceful Rebellion. How are you wonderful people? Today I'm talking about the plan/epidemic and the impact that it's had on us. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So the other day when I was communing with the emissaries, I said to them, how's everything going? And they said, everything's going at a pace. And I snickered a little bit. Is it snickered or sniggered? I think I sniggered. I didn't snicker. Snicker would be eating a chocolate bar, wouldn't it? And I said, sometimes it doesn't seem that way, that it's going at a pace. Sometimes it feels like it's dragging its feet. And they said, yes, we understand that it seems slow, but understand that this process isn't from just being asleep to awake. It's made up of many, many, many steps. Many steps. So when you look at it coldly, you think, come on, let's get moving. And yet everybody is moving through the steps. Everybody's going through their process, which is not your process. And they said something to me. They said, just be patient. Be patient, because the time's going to pass anyway. And so enjoy the process. And I think this is one of our issues. It's certainly one of my issues that I've been wishing for this to come to a fruition, to get through to the nice bit. And when you're kind of waiting for something to end, it makes it last a lot longer, doesn't it? When you want it to end, it won't stop continuing. And that's a problem. And I think as well, you end up putting yourself a little bit on hold, like putting your life on hold and stuff. I'm just waiting for this to happen, And I don't think that's a good thing either. What I'm aware of is, as I look back over the 3 years, I say to people, the plan/epidemic is the best thing that happened to me. Now, I think I might be exaggerating a little bit. And I think really what I need to do is a reframe on that and say it's one of the best things that's happened to me. And in that, definitely, I feel that that's the case. Why is it that it's been one of the best things to happen to me? Well, what happened was, when everything kicked off, I went into creation mode. I went into, I am going to keep myself busy and I'm going to do stuff. And boy, I have never done so much in such a short space of time as I did in that period. But it wasn't just random doing. I wasn't just randomly, I'll just do anything, to fill my time in. I became aware that I was working to build something very different. And whether that would be my surroundings, or whether that was inside of me, or whether that was my business, I started building and creating. And it's changed. My life is completely changed thanks to the stupid thing that they did. Quite often when you look at your life in retrospect, you can see why certain things happened, when at the time you didn't understand why they were happening. I look at some very tough times that I've had in my life and I think, wow, I see why that happened. I see why that happened. And if it hadn't happened, I wouldn't be where I was. Everything that happens in your life is a stepping stone to where you are. And so when people say to me, if you could go back and change something in your life, what would you change? And I say, nothing. I couldn't change anything, because any tampering there would change this. And I love my life now. And so I couldn't change anything. And the guess is that even if I didn't love my life now, I still shouldn't tamper with anything in the past. All you need to do is put right what's going wrong here. Because everything, when you get your life back on track again and you look, we end up saying, right, now I know why that happened. Now I know why I was going through that. So we never have to discount what's happening to us as of no value. Everything is happening for a reason. I think somebody said that, didn't they? And so the emissaries were saying this is made up of a lot of steps, a lot of different steps. And so what we have to do is we have to be patient with these steps, be patient with ourselves, be patient with everybody else, and understand that everything that is happening needs to happen. Like when the bad stuff happens, it needs to happen. When the COVID happened, it was incredible for the Earth and for the population of the Earth, because it started to wake people up at a rate that had never happened before. It was so absolutely vital. I know we've said this before about people they have to go under the hammer if they're going to wake up. If they're too comfortable, they're not going to wake up. And so when stuff happens, we have to welcome it. How though? How, something really bad's happening. How are you going to welcome that? Well, all you need to do is to do what's called a reframe. And when something bad is happening, or something you perceive as bad, remember, I don't really think there's anything bad that happens. Everything is happening for a reason. You have to ask yourself, what good can come from this? What good is going to come from this? Okay? And I remember doing this with the COVID. I used to say to people, but it's so obvious it's going to wake people up. That's the thing. This, the more the push, the more they're going to wake people up. I was right. That's exactly what happened. Did it happen as fast as I wanted? No. Did it happen like it should have happened straight away, shouldn't it? For all those people who were awake right at the beginning, it was obvious, it was in plain sight. And like we were going, yeah, I was really cocky. Well, this won't last 3 months. It's obvious, it's so apparent, it's ridiculous. And it didn't, it went on and on for 3 years. But, well, not 3 years, but cracking on, eh? But it did wake people up. And it's still waking people up. And so the repercussions of that are going to just keep it like an echo chamber. They're just going to keep going. And everything else that's happening, that's awful, is waking people up. It's everything. No matter, everything is in such a mess. The world is in such a mess that it can't do any other than to wake people up. If you want to be woken up, all you need to do is to look at a video of the streets in, I don't know, San Francisco or some, I don't know, these places, I forget the names of where they are, where the people are standing on the sidewalk with their fentanyl, and they're just hanging over. The pavement is filled with people, doubled over, like that, with fentanyl, like zombie city. That would wake you up, wouldn't it, if you drove past that? So, the devil's world is a horrible world, and it wakes people up. The devil can only wake people up. Yeah, it's horrible as you go through it, but anything he does, I'm projecting gender onto the devil. Okay, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but for the moment, for me, everything he does wakes people up. Everything he does. Why? Because it's dreadful. Because we are godly beings, and we see ungodly things, and it shocks the shit out of us. Shocks us. Everything. We look at politics, it shocks the shit out of us. Yeah, we look at all of these like millions of people flooding into the countries in Europe, and it shocks the shit out of us. We see what the banks are doing to people, closing accounts because they haven't got the right political opinion. It shocks the shit out of us. We are having the shit shocked out of us. Quite how we've got any left, I don't know. We should be empty. It's like an enema. We're having an enema in the devil's world. We should be clean as a whistle now. And so coming back to our original point, the bad stuff's going to continue to happen. The devil's on a roll. He's in his own, está en su salsa, as they say. He's in his own sauce now. He's cooking. Yeah, bad stuff's going to happen, but we must reframe it and understand that everything that happens to make the situation better. Trust me, if good stuff started to happen all the time, people would go back to sleep. People haven't woken up yet. A lot of them, they haven't woken up yet. We need to keep prodding them with a stick, poking them with a pointy stick. So just let it happen. You don't need to be prodded with a pointy stick. You're already awake. And so you have to sideswipe get out of the way of the pointy stick. And so all you have to do is just ask yourself the question, what good can come from this? What's going to be a good outcome of this? Yeah. Remember the famous words of John Milton. He said, "The mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell or a hell of heaven." Your attitude is everything. How you look and perceive something changes everything inside of you. That's all. Keep yourself up, keep yourself positive, and keep thinking all the time. This will have a good outcome. This will serve for the betterment of humankind. And you'll be so much happier. It'll make everything so much easier. I love you all. I'll speak to you all later. Bye-bye.